Good afternoon and welcome to this week's edition of the People Progressing podcast. Today I have professional baseball pitcher Max Kuhns, and he's got quite a story that he's going to tell us today. And it's a story of perseverance and discipline and hard work. And just so excited to have you on, Max. And what I ask everyone, first of all, is just tell us where you're from, what you did as a kid, what you like to do as a kid, what sports you played, and those kind of things.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, Coach. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is awesome.
So I was born in Cleveland but grew up in Denver. Sports have been a part of my life since I can remember. Played baseball, basketball, football, all growing up. And then in high school, I played quarterback at Chaparral and then played baseball there as well. And then got the opportunity to play baseball at Santa Clara after that, and got drafted by the Mets, a couple of years in indie ball, and somehow found my way back to affiliate with the Phillies.
Yeah, this is an amazing story. I want to go back to high school though. Max and I actually played against each other. We did get to I did get to coach Max one summer. It was a really fun summer, but Max was kind of one of our rival high schools, and I just appreciated him from afar. I was a defensive coordinator while he was a quarterback, and we had to game plan against you. Tell me a little bit about why you play two sports, Max. Why did you like to do that? I know nowadays so many kids specialize in one sport and think that's the only way they can make it. Why did you do that?
Man, well, I love both of them, you know. I love football, I love baseball. I knew at the end of the day I was going to be a baseball player. I just had more love for the game with baseball, but no, I just love playing football. I love being around my friends, loved competing. And when I was going through it at the time, fall ball really wasn't huge on the baseball side of things. So an opportunity for me to go out and compete from my high school with my friends and play at the highest level that Colorado had to offer at the time, football wise, it was it was just something that I love doing, and I love Friday nights. Like still some of my favorite experiences in my life are those Friday nights with my friends. I mean, with my teammates, and I mean, I'm still my best friends are still on that football team, like to this day, 28 years old. And those are the guys I hang out with, talk to every single day. So it was a combination of like, yeah, I felt like I was pretty good at football, and um, having the opportunity to be successful in that and try to have a team win a state championship. But just the camaraderie and being with my friends on the football field, and that's something that I could honestly, it was some of the best times of my life.
Which did you have some offers to go play football as well? I know you were an amazing quarterback. I know that game planning against you. You were the real deal. Did you have some offers to go play quarterback places too?
So no official offers, but I will say I hated playing against you guys. You knew me too well. You guys were the only guys that we couldn't score against. I mean, we put up one touchdown in 2 years against you guys, and we led the state in offense, I think, my senior year. Um, but no official offers. After my junior year, I sent out my film. I was getting interest from Ivy League schools, some Mountain West schools. Took an unofficial to Arizona State, but nothing official because I didn't send out my senior year film. I knew after my junior year of baseball that that's where what I wanted to do at the next level. So no official offers, but I think if I wanted to, I could have had the opportunity to play in college.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt you could have. I want to ask this question too. How much did playing football help you in playing baseball?
I mean, it was great for me. Like weight room wise, I don't think I would have been in the shape that I was in going into college if it wasn't for football and the weight room and everything that they did for me in terms of gaining strength. And on top of that, just the toughness that you have to have as a football player. And then with my position at being quarterback, like just trying to be level headed through everything. Cause I'm like the only guy on the field that can't go through the ups and downs. Every single football player is like this run through a brick wall mentality. And as a quarterback, you kind of got to be even keel, mellow throughout the whole thing. And I think that helped on the baseball field just because successes in baseball are hard to come by. You know, as a hitter, if you hit 300, you're considered a Hall of Famer. So there's a lot of failure. And I think being able to play football and understand that, hey, like this drive didn't work so well, let's go on to the next one, and being able to figure out emotions and stuff like that definitely helped me on the baseball field.
Yeah, big time. And I want to go back a little bit as well as Max Kuhns as a student. You said you had some interest from Ivy League schools. You ended up going to play baseball at Santa Clara University, which is a very prestigious university itself, academically and athletically. How important was academics to you going through high school, playing two sports, and having the grade point average that you had?
Yeah, no, I mean that was a big thing for me and my family. You know, my mom pretty much she helped me through everything in high school, and her only rule was everything's got to be an A or B. You know, and that definitely helped me further in life going to Santa Clara because, like you said, Santa Clara. I don't know if I get into Santa Clara, to be honest with you, if it's not for baseball, but baseball definitely helped me out. But school wise, I was always someone that enjoyed it and knew that eventually one day sports will come to an end, and hopefully it's not for a while for me. But
Yeah.
yeah, I knew academically Santa Clara was going to be a good fit and give me an opportunity to be successful later in life because I had offers for more prestigious baseball schools coming out of high school, but I thought the best fit for me was Santa Clara because honestly, when I went to college, I didn't think I was going to be a professional baseball player. So I was looking for that next stage of my life, and I thought Santa Clara was the best fit for me to be successful after baseball is over.
And what did you major in there?
I majored in finance at Santa Clara. I luckily I came into school with some credits, so when I got drafted my junior year, I only had to go back for the fall to finish up to get my undergrad. And then during COVID, actually, I got my master's online at University of Cincinnati in sports administration.
Amazing. So I want to go back to Santa Clara now. Now we're into college because you
Mhm.
were a great hitter, not just a great pitcher, but you were an unbelievable hitter. And when you got to Santa Clara, didn't you do both when you got there?
Yeah, so that was another reason why I chose Santa Clara too, just because they were pretty much the only school that was going to offer me to be a two-way guy, with an emphasis on hitting first. So the other schools like San Diego State wanted me to be a pitcher only. UNLV was the same. Grand Canyon said I could do both, but it was going to be primarily pitcher. So going into Santa Clara, my freshman year, I was hitter first, pitcher second. I ended up starting probably 20, 25 games at third, short, first, and DH. And I mean, I was on a roll there for a little bit until the scouting report came out, and they realized I couldn't hit anything hard on the inner half. So, um, but yeah, no, I going in there, that was what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a third baseman. I wanted to play every day, and unfortunately, that didn't work out. But I think in the long run, it helped me in my career.
Yeah. Now you got drafted, you signed with the Mets. What was that first year like in the minor leagues?
It was crazy. I mean, going from Parker, Colorado to Santa Clara, California, to getting drafted and going to Kingsport, Tennessee, where it was definitely a culture shock in terms of where I was at. I've never played in the South before, anything like that. And then on top of that, we had probably 30, 35 guys on our team because it was a rookie ball team. So we were allowed to have an extended roster. At that time, I would say maybe 8 to 10 of us were American.
Yeah.
So coming in, it was like everyone on my team was either my draft class or the draft class before that were high school guys. So a lot of guys were around my age, but I mean, it's definitely a culture shock. One, being in the South, and then two, playing with guys that don't speak the same language as you. So my first year, I definitely went through some struggles, just like trying to find my way. At Santa Clara, I knew my role. I was the closer out there. I knew I was pitching in the eighth or the ninth when we had the lead. I was getting in either 2 or 3 times a week, including the weekend and the weekday. And then when I went with the Mets, they had me on like it was like a planned progression because they didn't want to overuse my innings and stuff like that. So I was pretty much pitching like a starter, but only throwing 1 inning every 5 days. So
Yeah.
I'd have a scheduled inning in like the sixth inning every 5 days. So it was tough for me to get used to that because I was coming from a guy that was a two-way player, played the field, pitching almost every single game, to like sitting there and just trying to figure out my way of how to stay invested in the team, invested in myself, and try to find my way and see if I belong in pro ball, Like that was another thing. Like at Santa Clara, I wasn't like one of the harder throwing guys. I was probably middle of the pack, and then getting to pro ball where it's like every single dude that you see is you or greater on the velocity side of things. It definitely took me a second to figure out that I did belong in professional baseball.
Well, that had to be very frustrating for you with how much of a competitor you are. You
Yeah.
only pitch 1 inning every 5 days. It just had to be eating on you. Um, and what happened with the Mets? Did you get injured? Is that what kind of ended your time with the Mets? Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I was drafted in 2016, short season, came back 2017, had a really good camp, ended up breaking with the low A team in Columbia, South Carolina. Had a really, really good first half. I think I had like right around a 2 ERA, a little bit above that. I ended up being an all-star in the Sally League about a week before the all-star break. For I went down on the DL. I was dealing with some elbow stuff for about a month. And then finally one day I went out there and I was like 87, 89. And I was like, yeah, I need to go get an MRI. Like I need to figure something out. Excuse me. So after that, went up to New York, got the MRI, came back as like a partial tear of my UCL. We tried to PRP. PRP didn't work, went back up. They're like, yeah, it's time to get surgery. So I got surgery about August 1st of 2017. And then with Tommy John, it's a 12-month recovery. So I pitched my first game back in a rehab assignment in their rookie ball the following year, about August 1st of 2018. And only threw 6 innings that year. Come back for spring training in 2019. End up popping my hamstring like 2 weeks before camp broke. And so I started the season on the DL in 2019 in high A. And then I believe they activated me for one day. I pitched 2 innings and then got released the next day. But at the time I was very upset, and I was like, I have a career 3.5 ERA in the minor leagues. Like my K per nine is good. Like my whip's down. Like I just don't understand it. But looking back on it now and having the hindsight of like, I was 87, 89 after Tommy John. Like they kept saying like, hey, your stuff just doesn't play at the next level. I had the meeting that they released me, and I'm like, well, numbers say different. But looking back at it now, it's like, yeah, there's no big leaguer that's coming out of the bullpen that's 87, 89. Like they knew what they were doing, obviously. But at the time, I was, like you said, the competitor in me was like, well, I can still go out there and pitch. I can still go get outs. But yeah, they were right in making the decision. But yeah, my arm just never, my arm didn't come back at that time in that 2 year period that they hoped for, or that I hoped for. So they released me in May of 2019, I believe.
So let's get into mindset now. You had uh, some decisions to make after that. And what was your next step then? You had to come home, obviously, but you did have a degree behind you.
Mm-hmm.
So you had that. What was your next decision that you had to make?
So at that time, my agent at the time reached out to other teams, and no one bit, but there was a independent team in Quebec City, Canada, that reached out right after I got released and was like, "Hey, I know you're going through a lot right now, but we want to offer you a spot on our team. You'll be a back end guy for us." So I was contemplating it for like a week or so, but I knew I wanted to go out on my own terms if baseball was done. I still thought I had something in me. So I went up there and played, and I pitched horribly. Like, it was still 87, 89. I would touch 90, 91 on a good day, but I was trying too hard. I was walking the house. I was just not a very good pitcher. I ended up getting released by them about 2 months after they signed me. So being someone that went to school like to play baseball, got drafted, had success my whole entire career, to getting released twice in 3 months, I was pretty lost there for a second. And I came back home. I ended up tearing my meniscus when I was up there playing. So I got surgery on that. Um, so at that time, I was coaching over at Slammers, local uh, facility for travel ball and stuff. And I was just trying to figure out, all right, what's next. And I sat down with my mom and my uncle, and we were like, well, I think it would be good to like kind of transition back into real world stuff instead of going straight into a job. Considering I've been playing baseball for the last 4 years, we
Yeah.
were like, okay, let's get your master's. So it's like you're going back into work, but you're also not fully like going straight into a job. Get the brain working again. And then at the time, I was still coaching over at Slammers. So let's see, the fall of 2019, I was coaching and I was studying for the GRE for my master's. Took the GRE in the winter of 2019. Applied to University of Cincinnati in the end of 2019, early 2020. Started my master's then. Luckily, it was all online before COVID hit with anything, so their
Yeah.
course was already set up for us. So that was the plan. I mean, that was the plan, was to get my master's in sports administration, get back into athletics on the administrative side of things, hopefully become an athletic director or work in college admissions, like sports side of things, whether it be like ticket sales, finance, whatever it may be, and kind of start going on real life, you know?
This is an amazing story. So Slammers was really instrumental. It's a phenomenal baseball facility here in Denver that helps kids get better and better and better at baseball all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
they were phenomenal support for you as well, in
Yeah.
terms of letting you come in there and work with kids and work your arm back and all those kind of things. This is a phenomenal story about how you started throwing one day and all of a sudden your velocity was back. How did that happen?
Yeah. So it was right when they sent everyone home from college for the season for COVID, for the college season. So I had Halsey and Z have been great to me this whole entire time. And they, like, whenever I was back home during the off season when I was with the Mets, they always let me coach. So I always had a team that I was the assistant coach on. And my first team that I had was with John Cronican, and we had a loaded lineup. I mean, it was I believe they were the 2019 grad class. It was Sam Ireland, Grant
Oh yeah,
McGill,
yeah, good.
Cornelio, very, very
Yeah,
stud ridden team. But Sam Ireland came back from Minnesota and was like, "Hey, I think they're shutting us down for the year, but we're not entirely sure yet. I'm back at home right now. I need someone to play catch with before my bullpen today. Do you want to play catch with me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for sure, man. Like, whatever, it doesn't matter." So that's the first time I picked up a ball in about 9 months since getting released from the indie ball team up in Canada. and we were playing catch. The radar gun just happened to be up. He's throwing baseballs to me just like lightly at 85, and I'm like throwing it as hard back to him as I can at like 75, turned around on every single one. And he made a joke like, "Oh, I can throw harder than you now." And I was like, "Ah, let's see." And I get up on the mound. First throw was like 85. Next throw was 88. Next throw was 88. Then I hit 90, 90, 91, 92, 92. And yeah, that was the first time I picked up a ball in 9 months, and I was throwing harder than I was when I was playing professionally. So, and at that time, like no one was playing baseball. So I was just like joking around, like, oh, like, yeah, I'll make a comeback. Yeah, I'll make a comeback. And since I was getting my master's and I had that year of limbo, you know, I started just working out with Jake Hand over at Slammers. It's actually funny. I told him that winter, I was like, "Hey man, like, can you just write me a program to make me look good? Because I'm done with all this baseball training stuff now. Like I just want to look good." So I put on some good weight, and I was moving weight pretty well, and I think that's part of the reason why the velo went up. But he would be there in the morning with me. We'd work out together, and then I'd throw every day. I'd just like get a ball and throw it in the net. And then I also had a group of juniors with Scott Bauer that we coached together, and we found a way. Let's see, I think it was like the start of summer of 2020 where some fields were starting to open up to let us play. So we were playing with those guys, and I was just playing long toss with them every single day, and ended up getting off the mound like once a month. Next time I got off the mound, I was 91, 93. Next time I got off the mound, I was 92, 94. And then there was one day I hit 95 for the first time in my life. And I was talking with Z, and I was like, man, I don't know what to do. Like, I feel the itch coming back. I feel like I want to play baseball again, but I just spent all this money trying to get a master's. I'm trying to go and do real life stuff. And he's like, well, let me ask you a question. Are those degrees always going to be there? And I was like, yeah. He goes, well, if that's the case, then they're not going away. So you might as well play now and see what happens later. So I told him, I said, okay, like, let's get serious about it. When I throw bullpens, like you and Halsey come down, watch me throw. I'll talk to Jake. We'll get a real program in there, start baseball training again. And then one day, but I told him, I said, I'm not trying to go back unless I hit 96, because every single reliever in baseball throws the ball 96 miles an hour. So I'm not going back unless it's a real shot. And then one day in October, I get off the mound and I'm sitting 96 on Rapsodo. Like every single pitch was between like 95.5 and 96.8. So posted that out on Twitter and Instagram the next day. And that's when the winter leagues opened up for like Dominican, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Mexico, stuff like that. And a college teammate of mine who's actually from Colorado as well, Stephen Wilson from Dakota Ridge.
Yeah.
So he was playing down in the Dominican Republic. He sees that I posted that. Him and I have been in contact the whole time, because when he was getting ready, him and I would play catch and stuff like that. So he's out there. He's playing with someone that plays independent baseball down there. Shows him the video. Guy sends it to his manager, and the manager responds back like, hey, that's a good arm. It's funny that you sent that to me, because I just saw his post on Twitter like 20 minutes before you sent that to me. So my manager in Sioux City had his son was a junior in high school at the time, and he posted a video about his son throwing a bullpen, and we both got retweeted by the same account, back-to-back tweets. So he posted about his son, then saw my video, and he was talking to my new teammate in Dominican saying like, hey, like I was about to reach out to him. Now that I got his information, like I'm gonna give him a call. And then so I think it was either the next day or the day after, I get a call from Steve Montgomery with the Sioux City Explorers, and they offer me a contract to play independent baseball in Sioux City, Iowa. And he's trying to sell me on like coming to Sioux City and stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm coming no matter what. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you, whatever. He's like, we only have enough money for the league minimum contract. He's like, I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, I'll figure it out. Like, I just want to play baseball again. And yeah, that's how it all started. The comeback started at that point.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's amazing how so many other people were instrumental in this story. You know, you mentioned Mark Holzmer and Clint Zavaras, the owners of Slammers, both professional Major League Baseball pitchers in their day. Great people, great guys who've done so many things, good things for so many people. And just another example of what they've done for you. You mentioned Jake Hand, who got your lifting program. Jake played for me, was also a football, baseball player for me. Just an amazing human being. You surrounded yourself with some really good people. Scott Bauer, again, John Cronick, and just some really, really quality, high quality people. How important is that moving forward in anybody's life to surround yourself with such great people?
Yeah, I mean, I credit almost all my success to those guys. Like they they have given me everything, you know. Like that, I will be forever indebted to those guys for sure. It's they welcomed me with open arms. Like it was never a, hey, can you like they never asked me to pay for anything. Like they would come down, they did it out of their kindness of their heart, and it's I mean it's instrumental in success that you have a good support system behind you. And I think, and I still have the best support system possible, you know. Like they watched every single bullpen that I threw. They paid for an analysis for me to get into Bob Kai's biomechanical shredder pretty much, to see what I can be doing better, what I'm doing well. And no, I am very, very grateful for those guys, because if it wasn't for them, I definitely wouldn't be here, because I mean, they were calling everyone that they knew too, like at the time, to try to get me back into baseball. And just, yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. I'll let you know that right now,
Yeah,
because I mean, especially Halsey and Z, you know, they did everything for me.
yeah, amazing people. I want to go into your mindset a little bit here, Max, because this is called the People Progressing Podcast. And the reason I have this podcast is to try to help inspire people to go beyond what they think they can do, to get out of their comfort zone, to never give up. Your story is all of those things. What made you stay with it? You have a finance degree, you have a master's degree. Very easily could have just said, I'm just kind of done trying to fight this thing. What was it that inside you made you keep going?
I mean, I just love the game, to be honest with you. I love the game of baseball. I love everything about it. I love what it's given to me. It's given me lifelong friendships. It's given me life lessons that I couldn't have gotten anywhere else, you know? Like when I started to come back and realized that I still had the opportunity to be successful in this game and to play this game again, you know, it's just something that I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror 5-10 years from now and be like, yeah, you gave it everything you got, you know. And I think at the end of the day, that's all that all of us ever
Yeah,
really want, you know, is to truly be able to say, like, whether it's baseball, whether like whatever it is that you're doing, you know, that you truly gave it everything you got, and you worked countless hours, and you just truly, like, yeah, like I repeat myself, but yeah, give it everything that you got. to try to find a way to be successful. And if it doesn't work out at that point, then it doesn't work out. But yeah, I think just knowing that there was still something left in there and trying to not leave any page unturned. And I think that's at the end of the day why I kept on going, because it was like, I know I see former teammates of mine, I see people in the big leagues right now, and deep down I was like, I'm just as good or better than those guys, you know? And it's not that they're not great at what they do. It's just my competitiveness inside of me is saying, like, I want to be the very best that I can be. And I think my very best is equivalent or greater than people that are doing it at the highest level.
I love it. And I want to go back a little bit what you said about, I always say this, that every person that I ever coached, I always told them to fear regret. And I wanted them to win the process so they wouldn't have regret. And you just explained that perfectly, because you said, I wanted to give it every single thing that I had. I wanted to win the process every day and see where this took me. If it got me to the major leagues, it gets me to the major leagues. If it doesn't, at least I know I gave everything I possibly had to the process of it. So you're setting yourself up for no regrets. I think that's a beautiful way you just put that. And that doesn't have to be just in sports. That can be in the business world, that can be in life, that can be in anything, that you give everything to the process to see where it takes you. And it might not take you everywhere you want to go, but at least you won the process to try to get there.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I fell in love with that process. Like, it was
Yeah.
just trying to find different ways and like going through different things and having those people around me. And then also at that time, like, minor league baseball players weren't playing either. So I had Peyton Ramey from Legend. I had Brian King from Ponderosa. AJ Shugel was back there from Mountain Vista. Matt Gibbon from Rock Canyon. And we created a really good group of guys in there. And we were, I hate to say it like this, but I was kind of like a little test dummy for slammers and for those guys of like, okay, well, what if we do plyos this way? And what if we train this way? And what if I throw like this? And what if my arm action looks like this? And yeah, I truly fell in love with the training and the process and everything else that's not even result oriented. And I think that's why I'm still playing right now,
Yeah.
is because I love all those things. And then I get to show all the training that I did on the field when it comes time to it. But I think that's another big thing is, like, if you're not in love with, excuse my language, if you're not in love with the bullshit,
Yeah.
like, you're not gonna be successful when the time comes, you know. Like, you gotta enjoy the misery. And I truly enjoyed like every single bit of training and being around those guys. And like you said earlier, like, having that good support system around you, like those guys, I mean, I'm fighting for their jobs pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
They're in affiliate baseball and I'm trying to get back in, and those guys were and still are my biggest support system, and I am to them as well. Like, I want those guys to be 10-15 year big leaguers, you know.
That's awesome. I want to go back to this too. You got into coaching a little bit during this period of time. How much did that help you, Max? How much did it help you that you were helping others, that you were serving others? How much did that help you?
Yeah, you know, the crazy thing about that is that group that I had with Scott Bauer, we were, believe they were 2020 or 2021 grads. They're sophomores in college right now, so I think they're 21 grads. And man, that group made me re-fall in love with the game of baseball.
There you
You
go.
know,
Yeah.
they were a bunch of misfits that no one wanted on their team. And because we were the team two at the facility, so team one got their selection or whatever, and our team one, you know, our team one at Slammers is always, we got 25 guys on that team, 15 to 20 of them are going to go play Division I baseball.
Yeah.
And so we had the trickle downs after that, and those group of guys came in to work every single day, and they played every single day like it was the championship. And it's I credit those guys a lot because they made baseball fun again, you know. And with affiliate baseball, yes, the goal is to win at the minor league level, but the main goal is to develop.
Yeah.
So being around guys that all they cared about was winning baseball games was special, you know. They put in the work. They hardest working group of guys I could have ever been blessed to be around, because they took everything that Scott and I said and they took it to heart, and they worked their ass off every single day. And it didn't matter if we were playing the number one team in the country. They're going to go out there and they're going to go compete. And I mean, we played against, I think it was Kuhns National, and we were throwing Griffin Hyatt, who's over Mountain Vista kid. He's over at Washburn now. And Griffin is 5'8", 5'9", lefty that maybe threw it up to 81 at the time. And he goes 6 innings of scoreless baseball against guys that were getting drafted. And that dog mentality I saw in him on that mound that day, I was like, that's what it's all about, you know. I get a little emotional, to be honest with you, talking about it, because if it wasn't for that group, like I don't know if I'd be here. You know, if it was a different group of guys, if it was a different team, like I don't know if I still have that same fire that they gave me, you know. And that group was really special, and made me realize how lucky I was to be around them.
Well, and I'm sure you gave them a lot of fire. You taught them how to compete.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a great thing about, I always say this, when you're kind of feeling down and out or lost or whatever, when you feel helpless, you help others.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to find your way, should I go get my master's and go into the real world? Should I keep trying this? Should I keep doing this? So what did you do? You coached, you helped, you served, you were there for those kids. And in turn, those kids became there for you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a great way to look at life. It's a great way to not just look at athletics, but in any type of business or any type of career that you're looking at. When you serve others, that will come back and help and serve you. And that's exactly what happened in that situation. This is just an amazing story. Let's go a little bit now where you're at now, Max.
Yeah.
You're in AA, which is really, really close. I mean, you're
Yeah.
knocking on the door, and you're having a great season so far. Where do you feel mentally, physically, and everything else with where you're at right now?
No, I feel great. I'm very lucky, very blessed that the Phillies took a shot on me. You know, it was so after 2 years in indie ball, put up good numbers there. Went down to Mexico this winter. Numbers wise wasn't great, but it really came down to 2 outings. My first and last outing, I got hit around a little bit, but 20 in between us, I threw it pretty well. But yeah, no, pro day, and Phillies just happened to see me and pick me up. But no, I feel great right now, and arm feels good. Arm feels healthy, and it's the best my body's felt, which is crazy to say at 28. You know, um, I am the grandpa on the team. I will say that I'm the oldest guy on the team, but it's been fun. You know, we got a good group of guys here. Phillies organization has been really, really good to me. I've had more conversations with coaches and coordinators and front office here in the 3 months I've been here, 2-3 months I've been here, than I did in my 4-year career with the Mets. So, you know, I feel really lucky and really blessed that the Phillies decided to give me a shot. And yeah, now I'm here in Reading, Pennsylvania. We just got back from a road trip in Portland, Maine, and I'm feeling good. Velocity has been like 94, 97. So velo's good. Slider's been good shape. Been throwing it like 84, 86 up to 87. They have me in like a little back end roll right now. So throwing 4 times, 2 for 2 on save ops so far. we got a good group. You know, we're a really talented roster. Wins and losses haven't been going our way so far, but I think so. We have 11 losses right now, and I believe 5 of them have been one-run ball
Oh
games,
man.
and 3 or 4 of them have been within a swing of a bat. So like we're right there, and we like I can tell the talent level of this group that we're gonna be fine when it's all said and done.
And you're still at 28 wanting to win every day.
Yep. Oh
It's,
yeah, and that's yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, you know, like affiliate baseball, minor league side,
yeah, yeah,
it is about developing to help the big league club. But what I do see here is like being in indie ball the past 2 years, there was no development side of things. It was, hey, we're going out and we're playing to win every single day. And I think that also helped me like re-fall in love with the game of baseball, because indie ball is a grind. It is the JUCO of professional baseball. You know,
yeah.
it's not great what we get, but it's just a bunch of dudes that just want to play baseball and want to keep on going. So um, being around that, and it truly felt like high school and college again, where we're going out there and every game was really important. And I'm trying to bring that over back into the affiliate side
There
of
you go.
things. And this staff seems to feel the same way, and my teammates seem to feel the same way as well. Because at the end of the day, it's much better to win than to lose. You know.
And you're serving the other guys on your team right now again. Um, you're an amazing guy. I got 3 questions for you, and we'll be done.
Okay.
I wrote a book called The 3 Ps: Finding Your Purpose, Perspective, and Passion.
Mm-hmm.
And I ask every guest I have on here those 3 questions. What's your purpose in life?
That's a great question. I think it purpose in life. I think it kind of goes through like waves. To be honest with you, I think at each stage in your life, there's different purpose. You know, right now, my purpose is for myself is to give everything that I can to to be a big leaguer. You know, and if my story helps inspire someone else to continue with their baseball career or whatever career that they're going down. I just say baseball because it's something that I get to coach and teach and stuff like that too. But if I get to inspire and have that kid that may not want to play or doesn't think he's good enough to truly give it everything he's got to fulfill his dream of getting to whatever level that he can make it to on the baseball side of things, I feel like that would fulfill my purpose in life right now, you know. So yeah, there's that.
That's pretty awesome. I always say you find your purpose when your purpose is greater than yourself,
Yeah.
and your story's inspirational. And your story's not just inspirational in baseball. Your story's inspirational for business people. Your story's inspirational for anybody out there who not to give up, to keep going, to keep competing, to keep fighting, to keep scratching and clawing. It might not work out, but you're
Yeah.
going to give it everything you have. Now I skip over to passion. What's your passion in life, Max?
So passion has always been sports, you know, whether it's been rooted in me since I was 3, 5 years old, you know. It's every family vacation wasn't a family vacation. It
Yeah.
was, where's Max going to play this sport? So my passion is sports, whether it's me playing or giving back to the next generation, you know.
Right.
And that's why when I thought I was done playing the game, that's why I went and got my master's in sports administration, because I wanted to be able to give back to the game that has given me so much and make the next generation's life a little bit easier to get to their desired goal, you
Yeah.
know. And I thought at the administrative level I would be able to do a little bit more than just on the coaching level. But at the same time, like, thinking about it now, it's like the relationship that you get as a coach with your players is unmatched to anything else, you know. So yeah, my passion is sports. My passion is trying to influence and help the next generation do whatever it is that they want to do
Yeah.
going forward.
And, we just spent one summer together and we still have a relationship.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing this. I reached out to you, probably surprised you because we hadn't talked in a long time, but um, your passion and your purpose equal each other. You want to help others. You want to
Yeah.
inspire others. You want to support others while going for your own goals and dreams. It's an amazing story. What holds your purpose and passion together is your perspective. That's kind of the glue that holds those two things together. What's your perspective
Mhm.
on life?
Yeah, and I think my perspective on life is it's kind of like you get what you give, you know. If you truly give everything that you have to yourself and to others, you're going to get that in return, you know. Um if if you're truly compassionate and care about the well-being of the people around you, then you're going to get that in return, whether it be through other people or just that self uh, perspective of like, hey, I feel fulfilled because I did this to help someone else get to a situation that they um, may have not gotten on their own, you know?
Yeah. Well, Max, I appreciate you coming on. This has been an amazing hour. I know it doesn't seem like it, but we've already gone almost an hour already. We could probably go even more. But
Yeah.
your story is inspirational. But I want you to stay focused on what you want too. Your story with what you're doing is helping so many, inspiring so many, but it's also a story of how much of a competitor you are and how much that means to you in your life and all that. But you're always looking to ways that you can help and inspire others. And I think that's amazing. Um, I just thank you so much for coming on and all the best. I know all the people listening to this will start following you even more. I know there's a huge amount of people that follow you, like Coach Persakina and Coach Eaton and those guys.
Yeah.
I know follow you. Always spoke so highly of you and so forth, and all the guys at Slammers and stuff. We're all for you, man. We're all pulling for you. Just keep focused on what the prize is, and if you need anything, you know where I'm at, and all those people are always there for you, man. It's a great story. Thank you for so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it, Coach.
Yeah, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for listening to the People Progressing podcast with Max Kuhns today. That just a great inspirational story on perseverance and competitiveness and getting after it in life, and not only on the baseball field but in life. So I hope you all have a great day and keep progressing. Thank you.